When I was playing Rocket League the other day, I thought to myself how many things people tend to overlook whilst playing. I've been coaching professionally for a long time now, and I've realised there's a lot of things people don't really think about whilst playing. Especially with the newer players coming in from free to play, you want to know these very important yet somehow overlooked tips. Welcome to Top 5 Overlooked Rocket League Tips, a video where I'll guide you through some of the things that you might have been overlooking whilst playing Rocket League. I just want to say real quick, I make informative content like this, and I'll be posting more videos that you really don't want to miss out on, especially if you're trying to improve. So make sure to subscribe and turn on bell notifications to ensure you don't miss out. Anyways, let's get into the tips. Tip number 1. Getting demoed on purpose isn't bad. Now hold on a second, you don't want to go rushing into players trying to get yourself demoed just yet. What this actually means is that when you're in defense with 0 boost, not avoiding the incoming demo from the opponents is sometimes the perfect play to make. This will give you more boost when you respawn in and can help your teammates more effectively. This is very dependent on what's going on in the game, so don't do this every time you can. Pick and choose correct situations to actually allow this to happen. For example, if your teammates can't hit the ball, obviously you have to try your best to avoid the demo and go for the ball. But now if they can go for it, and you're the last possible person who would hit the ball, getting demoed is okay. The exact same thing goes for an offense. If someone is trying to demo you in their own half, when you have very low boost, this can actually help you recover faster to your own half, and also gives you more boost to play with. This works in pretty much any game mode except for 1v1s, but don't overdo it. Only very select situations work with this one. Tip number 2. Sometimes going for boost over ball is not actually bad. A lot of people in Rocket League have basically preached to you that you should always pick ball over boost, but that's really not the case sometimes. So get that belief out of your system, because sometimes leaving the ball and going for boost whilst letting your opponents have the ball is the right play. Think about it this way, you have, let's say, around 12 boost. Now you do have the ball and you're dribbling towards the opponent's goal. Now what happens if you miss? Well, the opponents have an extremely easy counterattack. You basically have no boost to recover and a very threatening attack is happening. And most of the time that leads to a goal. What can we do to prevent that situation from happening? Well, for one, you either just don't miss, which, let's face it, we're all terrible at the game, so that's not an option for us. But what if we went for that boost instead of going for the ball? That would have allowed us to have full boost and be able to defend against an incoming attack way easier. And hey, if the opponent has low boost in offense, they make that exact mistake you avoided, and then you have an easy counter-attack play. This advice works mostly in 2v2 and 1v1s, but hey, who cares about 3s, am I right? Well, maybe some of us do, which brings me to tip number 3. Let's take this kickoff scenario, or really any kickoff scenario. In a normal kickoff, you have one person going for the kickoff, and if you do kickoffs correctly, you will have another person following up. Now this moment is where people overlook simple things that just make sense. The kickoff taker has just went for the kickoff, and the person following up is ready to go for the ball. But wait a second, the person that went for the kickoff is going for the middle boost? That makes no sense. This right here is one of the most overlooked things in Rocket League. And I don't blame anyone for making this mistake. Simply nobody talks about this. The person following up on kickoff always takes middle boost to then make that offensive play. Why, you might ask? They have a lot more momentum and can pick and choose different plays to make. For example, they can choose to go for a faster play with their momentum, maybe bringing the ball up the wall or going for a straight up shot. Or they could choose to go for a dribble. And here's why the person going for the kickoff should not go for the middle boost, but rather go back. If the kickoff taker goes for the middle boost, what can he actually do? Well, he can only go for a slow play. And that wouldn't really work if the opponents choose to challenge quickly. He doesn't have that momentum needed for flexibility in the play, which is a huge downside. So remember kids, let the person following up on kickoffs to go for the boost and the ball. Tip number 4, and this is something people really should know in most ranks, but it goes overlooked a lot of the time. We all know that being open for a pass is great. It gives your teammate a lot more options to go for in order to beat the opponent. And passing is a skill worth learning, but for some situations, it's not the best option. What about this situation? Let's actually think for a moment. Is waiting for a pass in this situation really the right play? I mean, the opponent clearly knows you're waiting for the pass and is ready to challenge once that happens. And in a 2v2 game, if the challenge goes correctly for the opponent, it will result in a goal for the opposing team. So what can we do different? Well, we demo the opponent instead of waiting for a pass. Why, you might ask? Well, for the exact reason I just mentioned earlier. But also, it sometimes gives your teammate even more options to work with than being open for a pass. The person going for the demo either actually manages to demo the opponent, bumps him, or at the very least makes the opponent go a little further away from the goal in hopes to avoid the demo, giving the person with the ball a pretty open net. So there you have it. Sometimes going for a demo or a bump is better than waiting for a pass. Who would have thought? And well, this is mostly for 2v2, but hey, it could work in 3v3 too. There's just more situations where being open for a pass is better in 3s. Before we get to the 5th tip, let's talk about our honorable mention. It didn't quite make the list, but I was coaching the other day and realized that when people are struggling with dribbles, they're messing up one very noticeable thing, and it's very common. So this is for all of you people who have been struggling to learn how to dribble, or for the people about to start learning it. So our honorable mention is never ever hit the brakes when dribbling. A lot of people do this and it messes up their dribble instantly. A fun fact for all the players who are learning dribbles or just overall didn't know this is that you're supposed to dribble using really only 2 inputs, the left analog stick and the acceleration. Obviously this is different for keyboard and mouse players, but that's how it's supposed to be done with the controller. Another small mention is never do small adjustments when dribbling. This will just make you mess up completely and ruin the entire dribble. A lot of people try and fix their pathing with small adjustments, but it just makes them mess up even more. Dribbling is supposed to be one smooth motion, not micro adjustments that end up messing you over more than it fixes anything. A quick tip, by the way, is to start learning dribbling through only using your left analog stick and acceleration. Take away the usage of boost entirely whilst you're learning. It only makes things more complicated and it's really not needed for dribbling. Anyways, I don't want half of this video to just be about dribbling, so let's move on from that. Tip number 5, and oh boy, this one is juicy for a lot of you who tend to miss even the most easiest shots. Hey, this advice actually helps me a lot when I think about it. And here it is, missing the goal on purpose is actually good. Well, sometimes. If it's an open net, then, well, you simply missed. Or as I like to say it, I'm just passing. I'm clearly a team player. I don't want to score goals, I just want to pass. And if you're anything like that, this is perfect for you. Missing the goal on purpose can be quite good in certain situations. It can catch your opponent off guard, and the main objective of it is to get the ball to your teammate who should be waiting in the middle. Essentially, it's a pass that also takes out the opponent in the net, leaving you with an open net that even a bronze player would score. Oh, never mind. If this video has helped you out, or if you simply enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on content like this in the future. Other than that, good luck in the games and make sure to blame your teammates for me.